So my name is Arnie Biondo, A-R-N-I-E, Biondo, B-I-O-N-D-O, and I worked here in 1981 and almost all the way through 1982.
So Arnie, what was the reason, motivation to apply for the job in Kettering?
Well, I was ambitious, and so I thought to apply for Kettering back when I worked in Wheaton, Illinois. And Wheaton, Illinois at the time was a special park district, and I had been acting superintendent for some time while the superintendent was ill. And anyway, when he came back, I said, okay, I had a taste of it, I was ready to move up, and there was absolutely nothing going on in Illinois. So I started saying, well, where else might I go that has a top-notch kind of a operation? And lo and behold, I stumbled onto this place called Kettering, Ohio. I knew nothing of it, but I thought, well, let me do a little checking. You know, this was before the internet. But looked around a little bit and found what I could, and found that it was pretty cool. And oh my gosh, they had an indoor pool, and they had a recreation center, and they had an ice rink and an outdoor pool, and it just sounded wonderful. And I said, you know, I can advance my career by going there. So that's what motivated me to come to Kettering. And 2 years later, well, not 2 years later, but I was there then for the next 2 years.
Yeah, so Arnie, you were superintendent of recreation, the second superintendent of recreation, right? Or first?
I was the second superintendent of recreation. I followed a man named Steve Brinkman, who had left to be a director in Texas. And yeah, it was really interesting because probably in the previous 6-7 years, Kettering had really grown by leaps and bounds. And when I came, I had inherited the organization that Steve had and how they did things and the programs and how they operated facilities. But something happened, and that is Kettering had gone through a boom like a lot of cities with baby boomers, right? Families with baby boomer kids. And when I got here, the population had dropped from the mid-70s, I think, to the mid-60s. Mm-hmm. And so we really had to take a different approach to things.
Yeah, so Arnie, when you were here, and when I talked to Joe, you guys really did build a dream team, because many of the supervisors, yourself included as a superintendent, went on to achieve, great things. All became directors, all, in larger organizations, and some achieved with gold medal status and that type of thing. So talk to us a little bit about when you got here, and how did you assemble that team, and who was part of that team, and why is that team so special? We did have a special team at the time. The City of Kettering Parks and Recreation at the time, that's what we were called. We didn't have the cultural affairs on the label.